The wonders of constructing a tall building not only comes from the technology itself, but from the people who are building that. It takes a lot of perseverance.
People see the potential of One Belt, One Road, and it is not just an infrastructure. I think there will be a lot of opportunities for human capital development.
Zaman sekarang, zaman semua serba boleh. Dan lelaki boleh, wanita pun boleh buat.
Lebih baik kita cerita dengan hal pembangunan lah, khususnya macam kita orang asli ni memang kita nak pembangunan macam ekonomi, macam pendidikan.
We are in a globalized world. We should benefit from engaging with all countries.
Malaysia has a very high percentage of cross-border. Over 45% of e-commerce comes from cross-border, and a lot of this comes from China.
We plan to open more shops. We prove that Malaysia has a capacity. We have a market. We have a chance for growth.
At the end of the day, businesses, economies survive for the sake of people. The point of businesses, the point of economy is to make people's lives better.
We need to transcend beyond what has been achieved.
Kuala Lumpur, the heart of Malaysia. Beneath its stunning skyline, this is a vibrant city where diverse cultures flourish.
Contoh kalau satu bukit tu sepatutnya ada penunggu sana, ada batu keramat, ada sungai tu, adalah tempat-tempat tu.
The remote mountains and rainforests of peninsular Malaysia are home to the Orang Asli. These heterogeneous indigenous people embrace diverse cultures, languages, and traditional ways of life.
Semenjak dari dulu, dari kita datuk nenek moyang kita dulu, sebenarnya kita orang kampung tetap di sini.
Bati is the head of Tuali village. Its remote location means the village is off the power grid. Without artificial light, the nights here are dark.
Lebih baik kita cerita dengan hal pembangunan lah, khususnya macam kita orang asli ni memang kita nak pembangunan macam ekonomi, macam pendidikan.
And so, they are embracing modernization, but on certain conditions.
Kita terima dengan jangan sampai hutan ataupun segala-galanya akan rosak, sungai rosak, gunung ganang rosak, seimbang, lestari, okey.
Volunteers are trying to find a way of striking that balance.
We want to understand how they live their life and try to immerse ourselves in their livelihood.
Stephen, an NGO worker, came up with the idea of introducing solar panels. The first challenge is to find sponsors.
I understand how difficult it is to actually decide how do we allocate the funding. So perhaps with the pandemic just recently getting calmer, I think that perhaps companies are actually looking into how they can actually fund better projects.
So, Stephen and his team approached Chen Jianwei at the Malaysian office of CSCEC, the China State Construction Engineering Corporation. From the imposing signature tower to the country's tallest hotel currently under construction near the famous Petronas Twin Towers, Chen and CSCEC have been creating one new landmark after another for Malaysia.
企业做公益活动，这是一个 CSR， 就是community social responsibility， 取之于社会，用之于社会。
working with a local manufacturer, is set about securing solar panels and lights for Tuali village. This morning, the team is setting out on a journey into the mountains.
Plan this event, we actually look into which houses will be both beneficial as well as where exactly can be accessible by everyone. So that's why we decided to allocate the hall as one of the main place for the solar energy system.
On this visit, they're installing solar panels and lights in the village hall and 3 houses. A single solar panel can provide enough electricity for 5 or 6 families to have lighting and charge small devices such as mobile phones.
It is our first time partnering with China State Construction Company. So, but of course we hope to have more opportunities in the future as well, because there is always a lot to do. As you know, there are so many houses in this village.
并不是说我们把那个太阳能板放上去，我们就不理了。我们还会持续的就是跟进。如果比如说他们发生了什么问题，他们可以随时联络我们。
Maka dengan itu saya sangat membesar hati kepada tenaga-tenaga solar dan penyumbang-penyumbang. Jadi saya mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih, banyak-banyak terima kasih. Jadi sekiranya ada sumbangan yang lain, jadi kami akan terimalah. Jadi membesarkan hati.
They spend a whole day working, soaked by the rain and their sweat. As night falls, the lights in the village finally come on.
Nak buka, just tekan sini saja. Jaga buka. Okay, boleh try sekarang? Kalau cara pakai ni okey tak? Boleh tahu pakai?
Yes, boleh.
The indigenous people are used to living with nature, but in the city, the new trend is returning to nature.
Love outdoor, go camping, go hiking, and all the adventurous activity. I want everyone to do that.
Born and raised in Malaysia, Hannes spent 8 years in Australia, working as an outdoor activity group leader. In 2015, he returned to Kuala Lumpur and launched his own camping equipment business.
This is from China. Actually, we got some other brand as well. We put it here because he's a new arrival and it's a hot item. In Malaysia, there's not so many outdoor shop. Actually, started this business online through the e-commerce.
What was once a small online retailer is now one of the most successful camping equipment businesses in Kuala Lumpur.
We plan to open more shops. We prove that Malaysia has a capacity. We have a market, we have a capacity, we have a chance for growth.
When a local community held its first festival of camping, Hannes provided sponsorship. At the event, he hosts an auction.
RM180 satu, RM180 dua, RM180 ada lagi ke tak? RM180 tiga. 14 150 akak bercermin mata. Sun.
His success of today is in sharp contrast with his struggles when he first started out and couldn't find reliable, affordable products.
Sourcing part is one thing. Before I get to know how to get the product from China, that's the hardest part.
Now he imports 90% of his camping products from China.
I didn't expect that, but it's a good. did some exploration, ask people around, travel around, sourcing. I think I come to the right place and to find that China can manage to produce that.
Malaysia has been a key partner for China in the Belt and Road Initiative over the past decade. Cross-border e-commerce is a significant part of the economic cooperation. For Hannes, sourcing most of his goods from China via online platforms and cross-border logistics has brought enormous commercial benefits.
For me, the logistic, the transport is not a big issue because there's a lot of logistic companies that is offer.
So I think that when it comes to manufacturing, especially of consumer products, China will continue to be very strong in this. And so sourcing or trading from China will continue to happen. So because of these two reasons, where the flow of goods from China out into Southeast Asia, it will continue.
Singaporean e-commerce professional Han Pei Yi is head of the China office of Ninja Van, one of Southeast Asia's leading logistics providers.
China has a very close connectivity with the Southeast Asian countries. Malaysia has a very high percentage of cross-border. Over 45% of e-commerce comes from cross-border, and a lot of this comes from China. Actually, globally, China contributes about 50% of global e-commerce transactions that happen.
For Ninja Van, China is a market that simply cannot be ignored. In 2019, the company opened its China office. Here, tens of thousands of parcels a day are collected, examined, and packed, ready to be delivered by plane or ship to customers across Southeast Asia.
我们的货量啊，我们的发展的一个速度，几乎是每年都以几倍的这样一个程度在增长。
Over the past 20 years, China's e-commerce industry has produced millions of experienced professionals like Jan. Many of them are now heading south.
What's happening is that the Chinese e-commerce industry is building very deep-seated knowledge and capabilities in e-commerce. We see a lot of transfer of this talent, of this knowledge of doing e-commerce that's happening from China to Southeast Asia. And I think that's very interesting.
基于自己对外部市场的一个判断，认为接下来的10年、20年，这个全球经济的一个热点是在东南亚地区。
When goods from China arrive in Malaysia, making sure that they reach customers like Hannes is the responsibility of the couriers. One of them is 48-year-old Sanya. Sanya is a redoubtable woman who has survived some tough times.
Masa saya dengan suami pun, suami problem dia tak bekerja. Semua saya yang tanggung. Jadi efek kat situlah. Jadi itu yang membuatkan saya minta cerai.
But divorce didn't make life better for Sanya.
Daripada single mom ni, itulah saya cakap, single mom ni kena kuat untuk hidup, untuk sara hidup kita sendiri yang tanpa suami, untuk tolong kita. Banyak pengalaman sedih daripada saya. Saya pernah tidur dalam kereta, tak ada tempat tinggal.
Sanya tried several jobs. Eventually, a friend told her that Ninja Van Malaysia was recruiting truck drivers. She went for an interview.
Masa interview tu, semua peserta ada 20 orang, I seorang perempuan. Punya shipper. Jadinya dekat situ rasa dalam hati confident tu macam down sikit, macam tak yakin kita dapat. Tapi balik rumah, I dapat satu call, Kak, akak diterima. Akak boleh masuk kerja tak? Sekian ni. Dia cakap, okey boleh.
Sanya was the company's first female truck driver, and a new chapter in her life began. She fell in love again and is now happily married.
Memang mencabar untuk perempuan, tapi apabila bidang lelaki tu kita buat, kita yakin benda tu kita boleh buat. Zaman sekarang, zaman semua serba boleh. Dan lelaki boleh, wanita pun boleh buat. Nah, macam kawan-kawan kerja butik I dulu kan. Terus terang apabila jumpa sekarang, dia cakap gitu, I salute dengan you. Orang lain tak boleh buat, tapi you boleh buat.
Whether the neon lights enveloping a whole city or the lamps piercing the darkness in the village, they are a source of joy and hope. Tonight, when they dream, people here can look forward to an even brighter future promised by their country's development.